Welcome to From the Museum. I'm joined today by former R&D engineer and amp legend Steve Dawson. We've got the Silver Jubilee in front of us. This is an original from 1987. These were kind of a big deal at the time because, again, in 1987, you know, with the state of the music industry, if you like, everybody wanted gain, didn't they?
Yeah. Gain was evolving all of the time.
Yeah, so with this particular amp, I guess it kind of left off where the JCM 800 was, if you like, added a bit more gain, diode clipping, you got the flexibility with the push-pulls and the clean side of it, if you like, which could be crunch. But even though it had all these modern features, and I say modern with a pinch of salt now, you know, it's really a vintage amp, isn't it? But it still had that kind of Marshall characteristic, didn't it? Even though you could get more gain out of it, there was still a clarity there was still a punch. So as far as like the spec, if you like, or the technical side of it, you know, what makes this amp unique, if you like, and why was it so unique at the time?
It's a bit of a departure from the JCM 800 circuit. For one, there's solid state diode clipping, like I say, involved in the circuit path, and it's got its own unique identity. It's, you know, it's like a lot of the Marshalls, you know, they've got that Marshall characteristic, that common thread that runs through them all.
Yes.
But they've all got their own twist on it. Like they're all like they're brothers and sisters, so they're all from the same family, but
slightly different flavours of the same thing.
Yeah. And the Silver Jubilee was very much that. It was a very unique sound, but still very Marshall. And like I say, some of the circuitry on the inside are diode clipping, which I think may have been introduced to some extent in the later JSM 800s. But this definitely was a milestone, and probably deliberately so, because it was the silver anniversary, and at the time it would have been, we have to make this something special.
Yes.
You know, which would have always been the target, you know.
There's still some tradition in there, though, isn't there? Like it's EL34 based. You got your ECC 83s, which we always shove in the preamp section.
I think at the time, in the late 80s, Marshall was finding it very difficult to get a supply of good quality EL34s.
Yes.
And so, you know, I'm not sure whether the Jubilee, that was a little bit before my time when I was here, but I'm not sure whether the Jubilee suffered from that a bit. But I remember the JCM 900s.
Yes, because there was two versions of that, wasn't there? Yeah.
Because of that reason.
Right, okay.
So Marshall had to be very, very careful about selecting who they bought valves off at the time.
Okay.
And even in the 900s, some of the preamp valves were chips.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, this was very much you know, this is our 25th anniversary, and it's a special Marshall.
Yeah.
And at the time, 1987, it was.
Yeah, and I love the fact that these amps are still really popular now.
And why wouldn't it be? I mean, they sound great. You know?
Yeah, but you did have the flexibility, like I say, of being able to switch sound, because it's not separate channels on these, is it?
No, it's what you would call a pseudo switch, and it switches a signal path to a different set of components.
Because I was going to say, I like the way you can switch channel, but you're not actually switching channel.
No, it's the same EQ, I think.
Yeah.
I can't see the parameter from memory.
But you're just introducing kind of gain, I guess.
Different type of gain as well.
there's quite a few players that use these, as we mentioned earlier, you know, Joe Bonamassa, John Frusciante, but I guess Slash is kind of the most heard of player that kind of favorited these amps.
I guess that's probably because his first signature amp was based on this.
Yes.
So he's going to be associated with the Silver Jubilee.
Yeah, so there's been quite a few Slash amps kind of over the years, but the first one was in like early
96.
to mid-90s. Okay,
96-ish.
96-ish. So, and that was the Slash JCM, wasn't it? Which was essentially this amp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what he wanted, apparently. He asked, because they had been discontinued by then.
Yes.
Obviously, the 30th anniversary was out, and
Yeah.
you know, but he loved this amp, and he asked for a Silver Jubilee, and basically, I think it was Korg who were distributing Marshall at the time. Thought, well, why don't we bring out a range of signature amps? You know, the Slash signature.
Okay.
And that would serve the purpose of reissuing the amp.
Yeah.
And because if Slash was going to use this, then obviously there'd be a lot of Slash fans
Yes.
would want the same thing.
Okay.
So, you know.
Yeah. So I think the story might not be 100% accurate, but he used these on tour. You know, they were his favourite amps, but some of them were going missing. There was a riot at a gig, wasn't there? That some of them were stolen, and basically he needed them replacing. So he went to Jim, didn't he, and said, "I need some more Jubilees," and he was like, "We don't do them anymore."
We don't do them anymore. Yeah.
Hence the birth of the Slash.
Yeah.
JCM.
He had a lot of say at the time in what companies would produce, and probably still does.
Yes, yeah, I think so.
You know, at the end of the day, if it's going to sell a lot of product, it's
Yeah.
a no-brainer, really.
So as part of the Silver Jubilee line, which originally came out in '87, we also had a combo, which is this 2554 here, and a small box head, which is the 2553. So the combo, fairly self-explanatory, was just to offer a smaller combo version of the Silver Jubilee. Had all the same features, you know, the diode clipping, and the effects loops and all that kind of thing. The idea with this 2553, which was the smaller version, if you like, was to pair up with a smaller, more compact matching cabinet.